Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Mark. I'm a New Zealander who's living here in beautiful Cancun in Mexico, and I'm a full-time ultra distance athlete. In this video I'm going to give you 5 lessons we can all learn from our long runs. Hola and welcome. It's great to have you here. If you're a first-time visitor to my channel, welcome. Stick around. There's going to be plenty of content on here about my running journey and lots more as well. And if you've been here before and watched my videos, thank you very much for coming back. It's great to have you here, and we're getting back into things. Yes, I've been off with illness recently. I had about 3 weeks off with COVID, and I've now been back for a week running again, and everything is going really well. Still got a little bit of chesty mucus coming up after my runs, but besides that I'm starting to improve my fitness level. So we're on track, folks, and we're going forward. So what I thought I'd do today is just make a short video about 5 lessons that I learn constantly from doing my long runs, and I wanted to share that with you today because maybe there's some useful tips there that you can use as well. Now, I watch quite a few running channels on YouTube, and I want to just say that you've got to be very careful in taking information from people who, first of all, are not coaches, and secondly, they generalize very much in the information they put out there for you as a runner. So I just want to start this video by saying I'm not a coach, and the information I put out there is general in the context that I want you to go away and find out what works best for you in these particular areas that I'm going to talk about today. So we all know that we should be doing 1 long run a week, and some people like myself who are doing ultra distance training might do a couple of long runs a week or even more than that. So it all depends again what you're specifically training for, but let's say that you're doing 1 long run a week. And if you're doing that long run and it's part of your weekly plan, then there's a lot of things that you can learn from that long run rather than just getting out there and doing the run itself. What I like to do is I like to set myself goals for my long runs, and then when I get home from my run, I assess myself against those goals. Okay, so let's get into my 5 lessons that I learned from long runs, and in no particular order I'll go through these things. So the first thing I have is heart rate, and I think long runs are a great opportunity for us to see how our aerobic conditioning is by looking at our heart rate over a long endurance run. So most long runs, most people I know who are doing long runs should be doing it very slowly and with a very low heart rate. And this is one of the ways that you can measure from week to week how fit you're getting, because if your heart rate is coming down, it's an indication, one of the indications that you might well be getting fitter. So measure your heart rate when you go on your long runs. Make sure that depending on how long your long run is, some people's long run is an hour, other people's long run is 5 or 6 hours. So depending on what length your long run is, you'll be able to measure your heart rate for the whole duration and be able to see where you have peaks and troughs. Now, one of the things to try and aim for is to make sure you've got a consistent heart rate for the entire duration of your long run. We don't want to see you going out too fast, having a big spike at the beginning, because then it's hard to get your heart rate to stay down. So if anything, start off a little bit slower, work your way into the long run, and then keep your heart rate nice and steady for the whole duration of the long run. So the first thing that we can get a good lesson from our long runs is measuring and monitoring our heart. Okay, so the second thing that's on my list for lessons we can learn from our long runs is hydration. Very important part of a long run, and very important part of any athlete's training regime. Now, hydration can be different for all of us. We all got different body types. Our bodies react differently in heat and in cold. And for instance, I'm living here and training in Cancun in Mexico. It's extremely hot and humid all year round. So I have to be very careful with hydration. I'm a big guy as well. I'm over 6 foot tall, or 187 centimeters. And I do sweat a lot, and therefore I'm losing a lot of fluid. So hydration here for me is very critical. Now, a lot of YouTube channels on running will tell you to take drinks after certain periods of time. You really need to get out there and test it for yourself and see how your performance is on your long run. I actually start sipping on my water or my electrolytes after 10 or 15 minutes of my run has started, because I feel as though I'm already losing vital fluids and salts at that time. And I keep that up for every second kilometer during my run. So every 2Ks, I will have a fairly good drink of my water or my electrolytes or any other drinks that I take with me. So that's my particular regime. That works for me. I've tried and tested and proven it in the conditions that I train and race here in Cancun in Mexico. So you should get out and do the same thing and look at how your body reacts to certain types of hydration. I'm talking about products, of course, and then over the certain distances of your long runs. And of course, if you're going to be doing long runs that take a number of hours, then of course you're going to need to have more hydration. And also a lot of people add caffeine in there as well. So if you're drinking Coke during your run, find out how your body adapts to that, how your stomach and gut deals with it, and all these things you can learn. And these are lessons we learn from doing this in training on our long runs. So get out there and do a lot of experimentation. That's what training is all about, is to try different things and see what works for you the best. But yeah, number 2 on my list of lessons we can learn on our long runs is how our body adapts to our hydration regime. Now, the third thing we can learn about during our long runs is our nutrition, of course. So it's interesting that a lot of people take gels and other types of food on their run. I do that as well. I'm not a gel guy though. I'd rather take solid whole foods, and that's what I consume on my long runs. So again, a lesson here is to learn what works best for you during your long run around nutrition. Take a number of different things, try them out at different stages of your long run, and see how your body adapts and digests and uses that energy. That's really critically important. And of course, if you start eating after 30 minutes and you don't top up on a regular basis, then you are going to have energy troubles, and you'll probably find out yourself getting a little bit weaker and a little bit slower. So work out during training what is the best regime for you when it comes to nutrition, how frequently you should be taking your nutritional inputs, and then see how it is for you after a run. Now, don't forget, nutrition is also very important, as is hydration, when you finish your run. So as soon as you finish your run, your recovery process is starting, and you need to be topping up, which is going to help your recovery and therefore help your next run. So it's just as important to keep your hydration and nutrition going after that long run and keep topping up for the rest of the day. Now, the fourth lesson on my list of 5 lessons we can learn from our long run is that around the equipment that we're using. So of course, things like running shoes, hydration vest, and all the other things that we take. It can be sunglasses, it can be caps, it can be towels, it can be ice banners around our neck. All these things we should be testing and using during our training sessions on our long runs. So use a lot of different things, get to use a different pair of running shoes on a frequent basis and see what performs the best for you on your long run. You might get to 2 or 3 hours on your long run and find out that your shoes start giving you blisters. That's not the sort of thing that you want. So use all the different varieties of equipment that you've got in your cupboard and find out what works best for you. You don't want to get to a race situation, you haven't tried these things out. And I know a lot of people say, yeah, that's a basic thing, we know that, but you'll be surprised how many people turn up to races with new equipment and they falter because they haven't tested it out. So we can learn a lot of lessons from our equipment that we use during training. And as I say, everything from socks and shoes to hydration vests to caps, sunglasses, everything that we possibly wear. And obviously for women as well, sports bras and things like that, you don't want those things upsetting you on a long run, so it's important to test them all out in training. Now, number 5 on my list of 5 lessons we can learn from our long runs is probably the most important, and that is our mind strength. So yes, when we go on a long run, our mind gets tested probably more than any other part of our training, and it's a really good opportunity for us to practice some resilience skills as we're doing our long runs. And these can be things that we learn through proper training or things that we can read about and educate ourselves about how to build resilience. I've actually done a 10-week resilience training course, which really helped me a lot to learn a lot of skills and tools that I can use during my long runs and training runs to actually help me through those tough periods. And it's quite a methodical approach to training, and I absolutely love that stuff because I believe what goes on up here is the most important thing. So the lessons we can learn from our long runs when it comes to our mind strength is, how long does it take us before we start getting negative thoughts in our mind on long runs? And then what do we do to try and combat that? Do we use techniques about taking a drink, thinking of something positive in our lives, positive people around us that are supporting us, our family and our friends, our coach maybe, all those little key intricate details that we tap into in our mind to make sure that we're having a positive outset and we're going to get through that long training run, and it's going to prepare us very well for our races. So lesson number 5 is to use a lot of different mind techniques when we're doing our long runs, to practice those things to help us get through those difficult times. And let's face it, every run is different. So you might go out tomorrow and you might not have any mind problems until you get to hour 2 or 3 in your run. Other days you can go out and within the first 30 minutes you're struggling and you're feeling, oh God, I'm having a really bad day today. I need to click my mind into a new gear. So you've got to practice those things in your training, and whether you're having a bad day at 20 or 30 minutes into your run, or whether it's 2 or 3 hours into your run, if you know those skills that you can use and you've got techniques that you can implement, then it's going to really help you on your long run. So there you go, there's 5 lessons that I use during my long runs to teach myself about different aspects of running and training, and all those things help me out when it comes to racing because I've already practiced them. I've got the things down pat that work for me, my body and my mind, and that's really important. So if there's any tip I'm going to give you today is go away and practice these things for yourself, because nobody else in this world is going to be able to tell you how to do it that works for you. Only you can find that out by practicing it. I hope it's been helpful for you. If it has been, give this video a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments what you do to focus on your long runs, or are you somebody that doesn't focus on any of these aspects at the moment? I'd really love to hear your thoughts in the comments. If you want to stick around for lots more content about my ultra running journey, then hit the subscribe button. I'd really be grateful for it, and I'll be back again really soon with some more content. Until then, stay well, stay safe, enjoy your running, and bye for now.